What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the F1 Manager 2022 series here on the channel. This being episode 4, as we're headed to Imola for the race weekend. If you missed the last episode, as always, make sure to go check that out. We had a bittersweet ending to our Australia trip, more bitter than anything else. Unfortunately, in free practice, Mick Schumacher crashed his car, causing some wing damage. We had to replace his wing. And then he didn't really show up in qualifiers as a result. And then Kevin Magnussen was able to have a really nice race weekend. He missed qualifier 3, but he did have a really nice race weekend and squeezes all the way up to 9th before his tire locked out, spun off the track, and then dropped all the way down to, I believe it was position 12 or something like that. So a little bit of a frustrating end. I actually thought that our car was going to be able to work pretty well out in the Albert Park circuit there. And it did for the most part. I mean, Mick showed some signs of genius. He passed a lot of people early. Maybe a little bit of a bad pit stop. I'm not quite sure how I felt about that. I watched it back. It was not the greatest management per se in the back half of that race, the second stint. But all in all, still proud of the guys. The car is still in very much a early development stage. We don't have a lot of things coming until after this Imola race. So unfortunately, not much changes to the car going into this race weekend, but nonetheless, we chug on. I'm excited to go here. This is a really nice, obviously very famous track. Hopefully we can tune the cars up really well here. We have a lot of cleanup to take care of before the start of the race weekend. But as you can see, as always on the bottom there, where the point standings are currently at, obviously Ferrari is absolutely dominating here early, finishing on the podium in all 3 races, winning 2 out of 3 now. So I think Verstappen was able to squeeze the win out in Australia for the first time. And then Charles Leclerc dropped down to 6th or 7th. He had a couple spinouts on that circuit, so unfortunate for him. But Carlos Sainz finishing on the podium. George Russell gets his first podium and the first podium for Mercedes in general. So you can see the leader there. Ferrari's starting off the season very nice. So hopefully they don't pull an issue like they have in the regular season where their pit decisions kind of cost them some points later down the stretch. But I'll stop delaying and we'll get right to the nitty gritty things. So we're gonna obviously, as always, check our emails. We have some actually new regulations and a vote to take care of here. So as you can see, there's a minor technical change for the FIA regulations. As you can see, it looks like with these goals in mind, we're proposing new minor technical regulations for the 2023 season. So next season, these proposed regulation changes will impact many areas of car aerodynamics with a focus on reducing overall downforce generated and maximum corner speeding. Please review the purpose. So, interesting. This is a very interesting one simply because if we go to our development, we currently have 2 projects on the go that will affect both of those. So you can see downforce, high speed. Interesting. So downforce is being affected. So really, we have 2 projects underway that both are going to affect the downforce. So I'm not entirely sure we want to vote on the downforce. It's hard to say. It's really tough to say because we have 2 things that, again, are going to be affecting that. So high speed downforce is the thing that we're struggling in the most. So having a change to reduce the overall downforce generated for maximum speed corner might be ideal. If we vote for low speed, that's kind of we talked about it in the last couple episodes, but the idea I have for the Haas team for the vehicle this year is to try and get it more balanced and better for turning and in around the circuits that aren't so heavily favored for power supplies. So high speed is something that I'm not really too overly concerned about. So I think we'll vote for the high speed downforce changes. And maybe that'll actually come into our advantage. I'm not quite sure. But I just feel like this is kind of a unfortunate regulation change that is affecting 2 parts that we already have in development. But that is okay. I think we'll vote for the high-speed one. And, we'll deal with any repercussions that come from that. So that's the race there. Obviously, we have our post-race overview. So as you can see, Max Verstappen won, George Russell... Oh, it was actually, sorry, I made a mistake. It was actually Carlos Sainz. That's right. Verstappen had the lead for a very long time, and Carlos Sainz was able to claim the lead back from him. So actually a very nice day for Carlos Sainz again. So Carlos Sainz has actually won 2 races this year. So pretty cool to see the Ferrari. He finished P3 on Saturday. They're saying that we're not meeting expectations, but we know that our board is doing okay, and we got it. Disappointed by the team's performance. We know that every team has bad races, so I said the same thing. I think it was something that we went in with good expectations. I've already looked at the board. They're not overly bad. They're still happy and satisfied with their stuff. So it's one of those races that we kind of got a series of bad luck with the crash in free practice, and then the spin out by Magnussen going into the later stages of the races, or we would have been back on the point train. So just one of those weekends. We move on as we get ready here for Imola. But as you can see, there's a couple things that Ed, our race engineer, is throwing out. So basically, telemetry shows that high-speed cornering of car 1 could be better. We already have, like I was talking about, we do have some cornering upgrades and some downforce upgrades coming in. And then he's basically saying that defending of Kevin Magnussen can be improved. And if you remember, after last race, I mentioned that we were going to try and do that for both of our drivers. And thankfully, after last driver, if we go in here, both of our drivers have earned a development point. So we actually are going to probably just do what they say and increase defending. That's something that Mick really struggles on, definitely. So I'm going to put the point into there for Mick here. And unfortunately, as you can see, average growth potential, this is actually decreased. I'm not quite sure why, or if there was a patch that addressed that. But a little disappointing to see that. Obviously, with his contract running up at the end of this year, we have some decisions to make when it comes to Mick. So we're trying to get his confidence up, trying to get him into a car that he can show us, some potential there. And same with Kevin. We're going to put that into defending. Something that our race engineer said, look, they're doing well, but this is something they can work on, so we might as well listen to them. And he's got some high aggression going on. We know that about our boy Kevin. So overall, nothing new here. We're still scouting some new drivers for this reserve spot. Pietro, we haven't got him into any race weekends. I don't think I really plan on. I plan on kind of replacing him in a couple weeks. Get somebody in there who's a bit younger and has more potential. So that's it for the emails here, guys. Not a lot. We obviously know we're going into Imola, and things that we might. I said this last time, but I think I actually believe it more this time. It's obviously no more for its cornering and its dirty air cornering, and not so much the top speed like Australia had some sections. So looking forward to this race. I'm trying not to get my hopes too high, but let's head on over to race weekend and see if we can get some things going and get the car in a good spot for these guys. So a couple weeks before the race weekend, we obviously have some more emails kicking off. So car part research unlocked. So it says, now that technical regulation voting is complete, we know what our parameters are for development next year. With that in mind, we should start a car part research for the next season as soon as possible. So we don't actually have any design research slots available at the moment. As you know, we have the new floor and the new wing coming in. So once that's done, we'll definitely listen to our technical chief here. No reason not to. These guys have been doing good so far in the year. So we'll throw that in. Here's the result of the technical change vote that came through. So the majority have voted in favor of the below option. You can see the full breakdown. So basically, it looks like. So we voted 4 with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it looks like the tiebreaker is 4. So we're going to have that high speed changes. So big changes, actually. So 30% high speed changes to 10% on the low end for everything. So I think that's actually going to play into our favor. It's our first regulation vote. Again, it's very interesting that you get thrown these earlier in the season and you kind of have to adapt. So I think for us, like I said, we're focusing more on the lower and medium speeds, not so much the high speed. So I think this will actually help us in the long run. So nice to see. Up-and-coming driver. So our scouts have been looking for an upcoming talent, and Jack Crawford is standing out as an individual potential talent. So, I mean, he's age 16. He's in F3 right now. His growth potential high. He's a 59. So realistically, that's not bad for a 16-year-old in F3. Yeah, definitely someone to keep an eye on. We might just do a standard scouting here to try and get... Actually, you know what? Yeah, let's just do a standard one for 10 days. We'll just throw the scout in there. That's definitely good to know, is that there's a young up-and-coming driver that, the team has already kind of caught an eye on, and we can definitely have a look at that going forward. And then cleaning up emails. Lots of emails here, guys, so apologies. It's kind of that point in the season where you start getting some things coming through. So race preview, we already know what to expect. So both of our scouting came in, so we actually have Jack's come in. It's a detailed one, so we'll have a look here. So he's obviously open for the negotiation. He's the 19-year-old from Australia. you know, he's obviously doing pretty well in the real world as well. We have some interesting info. So he's pretty good at defending. It's something that our team kind of lacks on. Consistency, smoothness is a little sporadic. All in all, not bad for a young kid, 72, 19 years of age. But the guy that I had our eye on, as I'm sure a lot of people do in their careers, actually Poucher. I just think he's a very talented young kid coming up. And if we go to his profile, he's obviously very open for you know, some sort of negotiation, what that might be. And as we look at their performance, this is somebody that I just think has the talent. He's a year younger than Duhan, sorry. French driver, 72 at year 18 is pretty crazy. Growth potential is high. He is a pretty low aggressive driver, as you can see. He's good at defending, which is something really nice. But his numbers are just really, really solid. So I actually think we're going to make our first potential purchase, first potential money spending, where we're actually going to give this man a contract offer. So we're actually going to go back to that email. We're not going to worry about Jack right now. He's definitely a good option. We're going to see if we can propose a contract. So this is the first time we're doing this, so that hopefully there's going to be it's going to go well for us. But obviously he wants car number 2. So, you know, this is his current contract. He's very high patience. He's open to negotiation. So for me, I don't necessarily want him in a car seat necessarily right now, because I still have hopes of Mick Schumacher re-signing or doing something well. But we want to get him in with the team, get him into some free practice, and just see what he can do. You know, obviously, if we're looking at his buyout and everything, we have to take that into consideration. So realistically, we could give him 2 seasons at like 360K, no starting bonus. This is what it's going to cost to hire. So it is a pretty big chunk. We do have the money to spend. We're just going to offer it and see what he comes back with. Hopefully he likes it. He might not like it. I don't know if he'll like being a reserve driver. He's okay with the so he's actually, oh, beautiful. So he accepted it. So he's okay. The concern I had was with the timeline, because obviously he's on a 3-year contract. So, you know, no real response to that. He's okay being a reserve driver. He's a young kid, and he's going to be making a healthy salary. So something that I was okay doing was pumping him up, because I know the potential of this kid is going to be really high. So we're going to, for 627,000, we're going to replace Pietro Fittipaldi with Theo Poucher. So this is our first real official transaction of our career. I'm super excited to do that. It's something that I've been, from day one, it was something, again, nothing against our former driver, but something that I'm very excited to do is get this guy on board and see if, you know, if it doesn't work out with Mick, I think this is something that we can definitely see being really valuable in the long term. Because I think Kevin, I don't know, something about Kevin makes me think that he could be here long term. Mick, I'm not quite sure yet, just because, I mean, he's a young and upcoming guy. He's going to be listening to other offers. We might not even be able to afford him. And if his potential doesn't really increase in this game, then, you know, we got to move on for that. And with our second scout, we're actually going to go scout another race engineer for Mick. So along with that, what I was saying is there's just something not going right with Mick right now. I'm not quite sure exactly what it is, but that's okay. We're gonna go out there and we're gonna see if we can poach something. You know, there might be a solid F2 driver or F2 guy out there. It doesn't look like there is. So there is a couple people that are willing to listen to us. So if we're looking at like Team Williams right here, they have 2 guys that are both pretty young, have really high rating. We might just have a quick scope at this guy and see if he's willing to work with us. He's obviously open to negotiation, open to listening to things, and we just want to. My whole idea here is just trying to get Mick something going, because if you're looking at his race engineer, you know, a little bit of an older guy, 45. They got an okay morale going. His rating's only 70. His contract's expiring in less than a year. So we're either going to have to re-sign him or find somebody new. So if we can find somebody that has a bit more potential who's younger, might be the way to go. So last thing, this is, like I said, this is a little bit of a beefier episode up front. We got some things that we need to spend money on. Car development. We need to kick off some of these factories or some of these upgrades. So first one, like I just kind of spoiled, is we're going to actually upgrade the project capacity to 3. I think this is a big beefy upgrade, $7 million up front. I think it's something we need to do for 75 days. Just get that rolling. We need to get that in there and really like help the team get some more parts in, because as we've seen, parts are going to take anywhere from 30 to 45 days. We want to make sure that we are setting up at least season 2 for a lot of success. So along with that, we're probably actually going to kick off this upgrade for a wind tunnel as well, $10 million. This is a big, beefy upgrade. We're going to do it. So there you go. We just spent a whole ton of money, more than half the money we just had, but we just got a new reserve driver who is very, very promising for the future. We just got a new factory upgrade, a new wind tunnel upgrade, which is going to see, you know, obviously some monthly upgrades are going to be a little bit higher, but it's it's beefing up these effects so much when using the testing, the units of testing. So it's going to be super exciting to get those in. Now it's up to us to just kind of hold the fort down until we get some money coming in, because as you can see with the cost cap, I'm sure it just took a bit of a hit. It took a little bit of a hit, not much. Obviously those are long-term investments, and again, if we remember correctly, we actually had to replace the wings, so we only have a couple extras, so we're gonna look to manufacture one more. We'll just replace the one we just had. We don't need to rush it because we still have some extra. Yep, 3 days time to complete. We should have that back up to 6. So if you remember, Mick Schumacher crashed in the free practice, damaging his wing. We had to replace it, so we got to order another one. That's the big thing I'm trying to do, is keep everything, you know, on top. Make sure we're staying on top of all of our wear and tear, and we should be ready here for Imola. So big spending episode. If you guys are still with me, I appreciate it. Like I said after last episode, this one we knew was coming. We knew there's a regulation change. We knew we were going to spend a lot of money. Super excited about Porcher joining. Might get him in, maybe not this weekend, but we'll probably get him into one of these free practices coming up. So on to race weekend now. Obviously, we got the email saying welcome to the team. I'm very happy and very excited. He's definitely going to be a big. That's a big moment for Team Haas. I think that's a young, upcoming, really solid driver who's with us for a couple more seasons, and hopefully we can just continue to develop him. If Mick looks like, because his this is the part where things are going to get really interesting, because Mick's contract's expiring in 7 months. He might not want to be here. He's not done. We haven't really treated him with the best car, and he hasn't really given us his best effort. So it's something that we're going to definitely have to look in. We know what to expect with Imola. We're going to set some performance targets. So obviously, last time well, if our qualifying target is P3, we might as well hit P2. I'm going to go for broke again, and we're hopefully going to see it. I mean, we barely missed out. I think we can do it, so we're going to just give it a try here. Race targets, finish position in 12th. I think we can do that. Qualifying streak, I think we can, oh, yeah, 14th. You know what? We're going big this race weekend. We just spent a lot of money. We need to earn it back. We need to flip that, flip the dice, see what happens. But I'm excited. So we'll move on to Imola now.
The hills of Tuscany are green to the south, but here in Imola, the air is red hot. Welcome to Ferrari's turf for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. The track has been around since the 60s, but the first official Formula One race was held here in 1980. Let's see what excitement lies ahead this year. This is Imola, and it's an old school track with plenty of elevation changes and lots of corners. There's only one DRS zone here, but it follows the long straight right before Tamburello and should see plenty of action. We might still be early in the season, but that doesn't mean we can sit back and relax. Everything is up for grabs, and nothing is certain at this stage. So, without further ado, let's get started.
All right, well, there's a nice, beautiful little overview that they always provide us before these races, and believe it or not, we got a clear Imola. This is actually a little surprising. I don't know if I've ever, even in the other game, F122, I don't know if I've had all 3 days that have been super sunny like this. So if you remember last week, last episode, we decided we were going to do manage practice 1, simulate practice 2, sorry, and then go and manage practice 3 in a qualifier. So we're going to stick with the same thing because I think that was really solid. We're going to give Mick the opportunity this race weekend. So Porcher obviously knew he'll be sitting in the pits with us. We're going to give Mick another chance because I think it's definitely, something that he has earned. I think it's something that we kind of, as I said, it's something that we kind of mismanaged him in the first race. He didn't perform necessarily in the second, or sorry, backwards. Didn't necessarily perform. Then we mismanaged him. Then last week he kind of a combination of everything. That I mean, crashing in free practice is obviously not the most ideal. So we're gonna pick some numbers here. Again, kind of know what to expect with Imolas. So just trying to find some nice starting grounds. Trying to remember what he was happy with last time. So something like that kind of sounds like it might be okay for him to start. We'll do 15 laps on the softs. Gets a nice little track round. Throw him out for light. He should be good to go. So that's what we got for him. For Kevin, he's been more accustomed to these things. So we're actually going to send him out for probably a really long one here. I'm actually going to send him out for... We're going to send him out for 35 laps here. So this is going to be a real test for Kev. Again, he's just been getting more familiar with not only the track, but also with the setup confidence. He seems to be doing a little bit better. And again, kind of know what to expect with Imola here. So I'm going to try something. We'll go with higher wings for him. Maybe put that there. Stick that somewhere in the middle. And then same thing in the toe a little. We'll do it at 0.25 there. So that's kind of what we got rolling on. Car 1, car 2 ready. We're going to go to practice. So again, Pocher is going to sit out this one. We'll make him in depending on how Mick handles this weekend. It's a big weekend for him. So Mick's ready to go. And we're going to send him out basically immediately. I want Mick to get out there on these softs. Give me 15 good laps. Tell me what he likes, what he doesn't like. We want to get his car as fine-tuned as possible because he was at a 91 last time and still struggled with it. So we need to get him to at least 80 early, so when we simulate free practice 2, he's confident with that car. But I don't know, this is a big weekend for Haas. This is where I feel like the management really comes into play. Super excited about that signing, super excited about spending the money on the upgrades. Those are things that are going to help us super long term. Obviously it'll show the runs, the track acclimatization. I always screw up that word, but I find it funny now, so I just do it on purpose. Car parts knowledge. I don't know what it is about that word. Even in my other game, I always just bobble that word. So here we go. He's out on the track here. We'll send out Kev here after the first lap. Just kind of, I'm hoping he doesn't crash again. I think it's the confidence that's starting to get shaken with him just a little bit, and that's something, like I said, we're trying to avoid desperately, is that we don't want to get him too worked up. But no point in watching this all. He's going to be doing 15 laps. We'll send out Meg here in just a minute, and we'll just fly through this. So the boys are out on the track. You'll see some other cars coming out. Leclerc's out there, who had a really hard time in Australia as well. Not quite sure what happened with him and some other people, but those corners ate him alive. You got a couple of the both the AlphaTauri cars on. A lot of people still hanging in the pits, so using their time very, very not as tight as we might want. We're not as comfortable with our drivers and our car setup as well. So Mick's out there. He's flying right now. He's doing a really good job. Obviously, he's on the soft compounds compared to Kevin, who's on the hards. But we have him at a nice relaxed pace. He's doing a good job right now. So far, no issues. So far, no feedback. So we don't. If we slow this down and we look at some of the confidence, obviously, you know, looks like so yellow flag somewhere here. But it looks like he's doing an okay job. We'll get the information. We'll get the full information here for the setup here shortly once they come back. I'm not quite sure what that yellow flag was for. But yeah, we're just hoping Schumacher has a good weekend. That's like, I don't want to cut him. I don't want to, like I said in episode 1, my goal is to build off him going forward. He is my #1 driver. I know Kevin's kind of taken that seat from him in the last few races, but he is my go-to guy. I plan on having him in that seat for a while, as long as he's confident, as long as he's performing, he's happy with it. And right now, unfortunately, I think due to some different variables, that's not necessarily the case. But he's having a great first practice here. We can look at the numbers. He's doing, he set the lap history, sorry. So Mick Schumacher, he just set his fastest lap. Kev just sat his fastest lap. So so we got an incident in free practice here. It just rode that corner. not really much of a replay there, but it kind of, I don't know. I'm not even sure if you get a penalty for that one or a warning from the FIA. But anyway, It looks like Mick kind of just rode a little wide there. Not the worst. Same kind of similar thing we just saw Latifi, just took a little wide. Not going to rewatch that replay. It's damage to the underfloor. Oh, no. So Mick coming back. Oh, Mick. How? How did you mess that one up? Coming back to the pit lane. You go over that curb and it actually caused that much damage. So Mick's going to be in for a while. Kevin's still out there getting held up a little bit. Oh, boy. So from honestly bad to worse. Mick coming back to the pit lane. Coming back to the pit lane. Runs over a curb and damages his vehicle. So that sucks. That's not good. So we'll have a look at what he said. So good start. I mean, oversteer didn't really get much. Braking and stability looks great. Traction still obviously not good. So we're going to leave that where it is. Something like that might not be terrible. I think the toe... Yeah, that's fine. He's gonna have some damage to take care of here, so a little unlucky for Mick as he comes into the pit lane and damages his damn car, but hey, it is what it is. We still got Magnussen out here for another about 15 laps, so we'll speed it up for him as well. Hopefully he runs into no issues. That's horrible to see, honestly. So one thing I noticed is so he's 4 to 5. He's gotten 4 to 5 setup confidence triggers met. So he's going to come back in here shortly and give us the rundown. But
Kev, how's the balance?
That is an absolutely beautiful sight to see. Kev's already enjoying the car out there. So again, it just seems like Kevin is just he likes the way the car feels right now. He's handling it very well, and unfortunately for we actually have rain here, 40% chance of rain in a minute, so this could get where I said no rain at Imola could just change very drastically, so we'll have to keep an eye on the track. Hopefully it doesn't rain. If it does, we'll just have to keep an eye on how dry it is. It looks like it's going down, so whatever cloud was overhead, we're okay there. We'll speed this up. So now we got Mick out there, and in about 2 minutes we'll send Mick out. I want to get Kev. I want the track to be a little clear for when we send Mick back out, because he seems to be running into a lot of traffic very, very often. So some cars are coming in now. We'll send him out. He's kind of in his lone little bobble there. Okay, so he's in his own little world. He's got some clean air in front of him. Some more people are coming in. Kev's finishing up. So hopefully, I'm hoping that Mick has a nice, clean rest of this free practice, because I don't know, it's maybe the signing of Pochair threw him off a little bit, as now you can see Leclerc is right behind Kevin Magnussen, so we just need Kev to finish up his laps and get back in. Again, we sent him out for a very, very long one, so Hamilton runs wide on turn 11. It's probably not anything crazy. So this part of the circuit, hopefully Hamilton didn't damage his car there, because that's same area where 2 people have gone off, including Mick Schumacher. So that's a part of the track that's causing some havoc for these guys early. So again, Kev should be coming on in here shortly. We might even pull him back in. I'm just gonna let him finish his circuit. Actually, he's doing a good job. We're gonna tell Mick to pick up the pace just a little bit there. Yeah, overall, I'm anxious to see kind of where these guys finish off and get into qualifiers, because I mean, I had false confidence, I guess, in Australia. I thought we might be able to pull off something there. It is a difficult circuit for the type of car we got, but I just felt something. Definitely didn't live up to my expectations, but I feel like with Imola, there being, a little bit more slower to medium speed corners, especially in this section with the chicane there and then the hairpin turn. I feel like we can obviously get some I hope we get some results out. So here's Kev's stats. So we got pretty solid little start there. He doesn't like the braking stability. So we can probably... If we pull the toe in... That seems like it wouldn't be... So that's like... That's there. That's a big difference. That's pretty similar. That's a bit different. That's back in the optimal zone. So we'll give this a try. This might not actually be, you know, something that he ends up liking, but you know what? I don't care. We'll see. We'll see if he enjoys it. I don't know if he has time in this session to go out there. We'll figure this out. So Schumacher ran wide again, man. Oh my goodness. What is happening with Schumacher? It's just going from bad to worse. He just can't get the feel. Every...
Look at that! They've run wide. Here's the replay. Now just focus on the Haas.
So yeah, he just can't seem to get... He can't seem to get the car... It's, to me, I know it's hard to tell in these sort of games, but to me it seems like a confidence thing now, because he had a high moral at the start of the season. It's now down to just good. And I just feel like, I don't know. I really just get the feeling that he's just kind of struggling a little bit with...
How was the balance?
It was okay.
Okay, so I mean, at least he's enjoying the car. We got another wide turn at turn 2, so the same, you know, that turn is still causing some havoc. I think for us, we're just going to let Kev rest out the red. There's no point in sending him out for, you know, 5.5 laps. So we'll keep Kevin in. We have it set up. We know what we're going to try into FP2, where the computer will take over, and hopefully they have a good day out there. But for Mick, you know, just trying to get him, we'll actually pull him in. Maybe we'll leave him out. I don't know how much time he has left. Does it say lap? Doesn't say what lap he's on, so we'll get Mick back in. So Charles Leclerc getting a really good free practice in there. Max Verstappen, Carlos Sainz, kind of what you expected. Valtteri Bottas continues to improve, doing very well above those Mercedes. And all in all, I'm not too upset with the guys. I mean, it's kind of unfortunate that, you know, Mick, I mean, he does have a 79% confidence, so not the end of the world, doing okay. He seems to, he's still pretty low on, I mean, Kev went out for a whole bunch of laps, so just a little unfortunate there. Yeah, just trying to figure out a little bit of... We'll probably send him out for the same thing here. Car setup. We already know what we're sending him out on, so we're gonna simulate this one again. We're gonna hand over the reins to the AI, see what they come back with. I think this is the way to do it, so you can fine tune it on free practice 3. It's just something that, you know, they actually improved. So if we're looking at their time, both Kevin and Mick both come out there with faster lap times. So I think it's just, you kind of work the balance, figure out what they know. Mick's went up to 82 from in the 70s, and then we now have a confidence one. So Kevin, we're gonna have to fine tune a little bit, get him out there, find that healthy balance that, you know, we're used to having. It's not a number that's horrible. But moving on to Saturday here.
Practice wraps up and qualifying unfolds.
So here we go. We're into Saturday here in Imola for this race weekend. We're gonna get ready, and yeah, so we got some data numbers. So 82 and 74, obviously we need to get Kevs up there. 82 is not a bad starting point, definitely something we can certainly work on. So if we're looking here, we've only tried them at, so optimal on the first 2. So this is going to be very, very interesting, where we're going to try and just, this is just like just squeaking numbers now. I really don't want to change much, man. So 18, 13. I really don't want to change a lot of these numbers. Well, we're going to have to try, because 82 is not the best we can do, certainly. So if we do that... We're going to try them at that. Maybe... Oh, this is such fine tuning at this point. It's so difficult. We're going to try this. It's very, very small changes. It's something that, you know, I think he can... Oh, did it not save? Dang it. Oh, it did save. It did save. Okay, okay, okay. So we're going to try that for him. And Kev, we got to try some different things out because obviously he's fairly happy with this. I'm surprised the straight he's happy with. So we're just going to try something like that. Hey, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. We're going to give it a whirl. So on to free practice 3 here.
Radio check, Kev.
Radio's good.
All right, so Kev's ready to go. So we're going to send him out. We're just going to speed it up, get a couple cars going. Not waste too much time here. So send Magnuson out here for his first couple laps. And then while the track starts getting busy, we'll send Mick out there. All right, so now we'll just fast forward here. You see Magnuson's off to a good start. Mick Schumacher just set a really good time there early as well. So a couple promising numbers here on the soft tires. Again, it's Mick's actually improving every single lap, which is really cool to see. If we slow, so Ocon, that turn 2 is actually just destroying people here. So yeah, you can see Mick is doing decent here, and then Kev's having some good laps. So hopefully the boys can reel this one home. We sent them out for a small stint here so we can fine tune it. We're just probably going to send them out on softs to mediums. We'll do a bigger stint in the second half of this free practice and get ready for quali. So hope you guys are enjoying the series. I know this is a very much different than the normal F122 game where we're actually driving, but a lot of geez Louise, so many turns run off the track. So I'm enjoying this. I think it's a very different skill set to learn. I think it's very interesting once you get deeper into the season where you're making a lot more decisions. But all in all, I'm very happy playing this. I think we made the right decision. Wow, there's a lot of... Imola is wreaking havoc on this grid today. So, but anyway, if you guys are enjoying it, make sure you click that little bell. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, completely free, but it shows me that you guys are enjoying these videos. Also, leave me a comment. Let me know. Like I said, let me know how your series is going, your team's going. I know a lot of people have picked teams like Williams, Aston Martin. Let me know if you picked Haas. If you picked Haas, how's your driver lineup going? Everything like that. I really enjoy reading all those comments and learning. Like I watch so many videos on this stuff, so I'm trying to absorb as much knowledge as I can. So give me some tips. As we see, Magnuson has made it back in, and we improved on a couple things. So lost a little bit of that oversteer info. He's now... we're going to send him out for a bit longer of a stint. So, you know what? It's honestly not that bad. Can we get... We're gonna try this for Kev. I think this will be good for Kevin, to be honest with you. Just change a couple. So basically what I was trying to change there is I was trying to get everything to great rather than trying to find the optimal. Well, he still doesn't have the best stats there. So we lost a couple optimal. Okay, so obviously for this one, that was good. Highest confidence was 13.0. Highest confident was 2.8. So he really liked the 2.8. What if we bring the tire camber down just a little bit? Put that to 0.5. So not going to change a lot because I'm pretty confident in what Mick is saying to us here. So similar thing, we're going to send him out for 20, confirm, speed this up a little bit. So basically just trying to fine tune it at this point. You know, like they came back with okay stats. It wasn't anything special. Obviously, Mick enjoyed his car in the second practice more than, you know, Kevin did, but that's okay. We're getting him out there. Hopefully he gives us some info, some things that we can use here that'll be solid, and we'll send Mick out for his second stint as well. So just hoping the guys come back with some useful information. Might pick up the pace here just a little bit on both of them, see what kind of info they get if they're pushing the pace, because it's obviously, you know, something that we really want to understand with these guys is what they're enjoying, what they're not enjoying. So you'll see they'll come in with a little bit of time left here. So hopefully they enjoy it. Obviously, Kevin's familiar with the track, Mick's getting there. But yeah, definitely just getting them to push just a little bit, understand the laps, everything like that. So as you can see on the right, Kev's picked his pace up to position 10, Mick's up 1 to position 14. So the guys are doing well on the medium compounds. They're probably getting nice and warm now. We'll throw this back to like, so a full spin on turn 7. Imola is just,
it's Lance Stroll.
yeah, just caught that curb, throttled a little bit too quickly and spun out. So unlucky to see for Team Aston Martin there, but all in all, it's okay. It's just free practice 3. We still got qualies. So the boys are doing really good. Car knowledge is obviously really good. That should be good by this time in the season. Mick's getting there. He's about 4% off from being fully in tune with the track's offering today. As you see, he's kind of bunched. Both of them are kind of in some traffic here. That's perfectly fine. Nothing to worry about too much as we slow the pace down for Mick. We'll throw it back to standard to finish off this last little bit. They should be coming in fairly shortly, and I'm fingers crossed, fingers absolutely crossed that. So here, update from Kev.
I'm happy here.
So Kevin's enjoying the car. So we may have hit that sweet spot. That's twice now that he's told us the balance has been good for him. So nice to hear from him. Obviously, he's our guy that's been putting up some decent numbers. You look at him here. He's doing a great job. So keep that up, Kev. Making us proud. And then for Mick, it's just about finding that tune and getting him into a position for him to succeed. That's the hardest part right now, is we haven't really been able to get him into that spot. So perfect. That's what we're looking for. An 84% confidence going into qualies here. We got 3 greats, 2 goods. That's about as nice and clean as we're going to get it for this free practice going into qualies. And now it's turn for Mick to come on in and let us know how he liked it. Got no updates from pretty much the entire session. So a little scared to see what he brings back for us, but you know, all in all, hopefully we got him to a decent spot. Driver confidence 82, 3 greats, 2 goods. Again, not quite what we had last time with 91, but an 82, that's a huge boost. 13 out of 15 performance bonus. He had a great FP3 compared to the FP2. That's beautiful to see. So, yeah, it's a good start to this race weekend. I'm excited. We're just going to let the clock boil over here until we get into qualifiers. And hopefully the boys come out. A virtual safety car. So an incident on the track here late in free practice. Not quite sure what the cause of that was, but with a minute left, I don't think anybody's too worried. They're just going to call their boys back in. But there you go. So session over here for free practice 3. We're heading into qualies here at Imola. And hopefully we pull off a good one here. So excited for this Grand Prix at a beautiful track, a beautiful Sunday. It looks like Saturday it's going to be for qualies, and some good stats there. So 84, 14 to 15, 13 out of 15. First time that they both had 100. So making use of their free practice. Beautiful clear skies now heading into qualies. We know what we got. We know what they can do. It is time to put the test. Put our custom build to the test. Again, we've kind of been mixing it up back and forth, and I have a new idea for this quali, so we're gonna speed up the time just a smidge, and we're actually gonna send out Magnussen very first. He's going to be the first one on the track, and we're just gonna let him have a go. We're gonna let him go all the way until he's back, and then we're gonna send out Mick. So the track should be nice and gripped up. Everything's good. We'll jump on board with Kevin here and just see what kind of number he sets, because the issue that I've had is every time I've sent out Mick, he's gotten stuck in traffic, he has not had a good race, or he's been pressured by other people behind him and he's spun off the track. So we're just going to take this one by one. And as Kev comes around here, we're going to send out Mick. So beautiful time to send out Mick. There doesn't look to be a lot of traffic on the circuit at all, really. It was just the one Aston Martin. It's going to pass him, so he should have nobody in traffic. As we switch over to some data here. Yeah, it looks like there's not going to be any traffic in his run. He might have traffic. No, he should be okay. It'll be light traffic, but we're going to stay on board Kev here. Have a quick look, see if he posts a decent time. He's got a Ferrari hot on his heels, so we just got to see what kind of number he puts compared to them, how far off he is. Last time we didn't even have to send him out for a second go about this track. So as he comes in, he's going to cross the finish line in just a minute. He is doing okay holding the pace to that Ferrari. So as we look behind us, he posted a number, and it will be just behind Leclerc, actually quite a bit behind Leclerc. So while the minimap didn't look like Leclerc was flying out there, he was 1.3 seconds. So just shows you the difference between what that Ferrari is capable of compared to our poor Haas vehicle. So we're going to speed this up until Mick is into his lap here. So he's out. He's on the circuit. Going to speed this up a little bit. So we got a nice pace over the Aston Martin there of Lance Stroll as well. So we are right where we need to be. We're in the middle of the pack. Again, we don't have any upgrades coming in for this one. Our upgrades should be coming in for the start of next, or maybe slightly after the next Grand Prix. So it's coming. we gotta hold out and hope that the guys can just continue to push pace 4 points early in the season. So when those upgrades come in, we can hopefully put the car to the test coming up. So as you can see, the Aston Martin come into the pit lanes. That's a great time by Mick. So obviously still a little off, about 2.5 tenths off from Magnussen, but a good confident first lap. That's something we haven't been able to see Mick get, is a nice clear track empty lap. So that's the big thing I was looking for going into these qualies. So all in all, not bad. We're just going to kind of get the cars ready and just, hope that they can. So the currently fitted 92. I think we're just going to keep the tires on for him and just see if we need to send him out. So again, idea is we're just going to keep track of...
Oh, did someone run wide there? We can take a look now. Now, just watch the Mercedes here.
Ooh, that's a big one into the gravel trap. So Hamilton's struggling here in early qualifiers. That's I don't know what it is in this video game. The Mercedes just don't have it at all. I mean, we noticed that in the F122 where they're battling for 5th and 6th all the time, but that's rough to see. You don't really like to see that. It's not something that I'm happy or excited to see. So all in all here is we're looking at the times. So if we're looking at everything here, Magnussen is ahead of Mick, like I said, by about 2.5 tenths of a second. And he's about 7 tenths higher than all these guys. Hamilton posting a dirty number. You still have these big guys coming out. So like I said, we're just going to get the car ready. And we're going to give Mick a new set just because I want to make sure that we can get him in a qualifier. I think his time is okay. So we're basically just going to let it play out and see once it gets down to the, lower numbers, we're probably going to have to send him out. So we're actually, once these cars go by, I'm actually going to send him out for a second lap just to be safe. I want him out on the track, clear of any traffic. Hopefully he gets around before more cars start to come out. So he is... Oh, he's going to get bottled up. He's going to get bottled up.
Okay, you're coming back to us now, Mick.
So what happened there? Why is he going so slow? What happened with him? He's so slow. I'm not quite sure what happened to Mick there. Something happened. Did he not cross the flag before the time ran out? Did we send him too late? So Magnussen's in position 10. I have no idea what happened with Mick here. I don't think Mick's going to make it. Nope, Mick's out. What happened? I have no idea what happened to Mick there. Something happened to Mick there. I have no idea what. We're fast forwarding for him to get onto his lap. We sent him out with 4.5 minutes left, so I have no idea what happened with Mick there. But once again, oh my God, Mick is bumped to position 16. So I'm gonna have to watch the replay to see if anything came up, but it just said you're coming back to us, Mick, and that was it. So whether he got through, I don't know. Something happened with Mick again, but for the 4th straight weekend, Mick is in position 16th and just outside. He can't seem to get that car going for him. That is so unlucky for him. Honestly, so unlucky. I don't know what we have to do to try and get him ready to go, but it just seems like such an absolute struggle for him to get into that position 15th. And I just... We might have to give Porsche a chance to swing the car around the track and just see what happens. But Kev's still here. Hopefully he can make it into Q3. We're going to play this a little bit differently, where we're going to let some cars go out first. We'll send him out now. Hopefully by the time he comes around the circuit, these guys are all leaving. I don't want him to get stuck in any traffic. So he's good. And here comes Meg here in his lap to set a qualifying time for Q2. But yeah, I don't know. Like, to me, I think it's a confidence thing, because we had his car at 91% confidence last race, 16th. Yes, he had the crash, which probably shook him a little bit, but race before that, he had about an 85% confidence, finished P16th. I just can't seem to get Schumacher out of qualifying 1. It's just so hard to get him into Q2, and I think he's got the skills. I think he has the talent. It's just something just isn't clicking with him in this car. So again, that's why, like I said, I mean, the game's different than real life. Things are going to happen in the game that trigger certain responses. Again, we're looking for a better engineer. I think that might be the play. Don't seem to be having any communication between the two. So we're scouting somebody new for that. We're still going to give him the benefit of the doubt and plenty of time to overcome whatever he's going through. But yeah, it's unfortunate to see here as we see Kevin Magnussen coming through. Has his lap time for his first qualifier 2. Alonso set a time, Leclerc, so we're probably going to be well behind Leclerc, but last time we were pretty close to Alonso. We'll see what we come through the line with. So about 1.3 seconds behind Alonso. Not the end of the world. That's quite a bit behind Charles Leclerc, obviously. Yeah, still a really big gap here between the two. So yeah, 1.4 seconds behind Leclerc, 0.4 of a second behind Alonso. So actually not that bad. I read that wrong here. So difference between this and this is 0.4. So not a bad lap here by Kev. We'll get him back into the pit lane here and see what we need to do. But for me, again, I kind of said this last time, we're going to give him a brand new compound. So we'll give him a new compound here for the next lap, because we are going to send him out for a second one here. I don't think that's going to be fast enough to get into Q3, although Sainz has a bad time, Norris has a bad time, Hamilton still struggling, posts a good time there. So everybody's out and about. Kevin's still in 9th. We're going to get him well out in advance here in just a moment, make sure that we don't have any issues. We're going to send Kev out for hopefully, yeah, a lot of people, basically everybody coming out now. Kev's going to have nice, clean air, no traffic. We're going to go on board for him for a second Q. We know where he needs to improve. He knows where he needs to improve. Bottas is the man on the chopping block. So Kevin's going to have a really, really nice time as he sets a yellow sector 1. So struggling a little bit, needs to pick up the pace. He's got to go. He has got to push the pedal to the metal. I believe in Kevin, but I'm looking at that and I'm thinking Carlos Sainz is probably going to at least improve. Norris will probably improve. I don't know about the 2 AlphaTauris, but not a great sector 1 from Kevin. Doesn't seem to be driving overly confident here. So, okay, green sector 2, a lot better. But in order to, like, 0.2 of a second behind Guan Yu and Ocon, those are kind of the numbers. We're not going to catch nearly 0.4 on Hamilton. So, little bit of traffic coming up here. Not the greatest time for this, but might get a little tow, to be honest with you. Might be in that range to grab a little slipstream, slingshot him past the finish line. Does he improve? Another green sector. Okay, so he improved a little bit, not a lot. So now we just, kind of sit back and pray and see what some of these guys are going to say. So I'm happy with Kev there. It's a good showing. Will it be enough? No, he'll get sent down there into P11. So unfortunately for Kev, just not the day he was looking for. Drops all the way down to P15 or Q13. Sorry. It is what it is. It is what it is. these aren't bad starting spots, as there might be some penalties going into Q3 or some other grid penalties. So we'll proceed into race day. It's not the end of the world. Little disappointed in Mick Schumacher. You know, I'm trying to be as cordial as possible, but yeah, it's a little difficult here to just try and understand what's going on with Mick. So I think for Mick, we're actually going to do a different strategy where we're going to kind of just pull him in. Yeah. It's 63 laps. The hards can do quite a bit. There's no rain on the forecast. I think we're just going to do something really, really crazy. I think we're going to... Softs can go for a while. Honestly, I don't hate this strategy. I think we're just going to stick with strategy B and let Mick start on the hards from a little further back. And then, you know, we'll decide kind of when he pits. And then when he comes out for his second stint, we're going to make him just go full throttle, like full everything pace. By then, we'll just kind of ease off. So that's the idea we have for Mick. For Kev, we're just going to stick with the normal mediums to hards, I believe. I think that's, you know, there's nothing wrong with that strategy. Ah, boy. I hate seeing starting position 16th for Mick again. But hey, positive thoughts from here on out. It's a beautiful day out here.
As the sun continues
Let's
to
get
shine,
ready for the race.
It seems like nothing can dampen the mood of excitement here at the track. There we see Kevin Magnussen. And it's Schumacher as the second driver today. They're in the back half of the pack, so they'll need to work hard if they want a podium finish. Everything's been building to this. All eyes are on the race here at the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix.
Well, here we go, the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. As you heard, the man lights out, and we are off. So, little disappointing qualifiers nonetheless. We are starting. We'll hop on board Kev as he looks to overtake Norris right off the rip. So, a wonderful jump. What the heck just happened there? Kevin just got an absolutely ripping start, and he just absolutely slingshots past Lando Norris, who I guess had a bit of a lockup or slowdown. I'm not quite sure. As you see, Kevin is flying. We're going to stay on board Kevin because he's now in P11. The man is absolutely flying out there. He has a chance to overtake Guan Yu and Alonso here. So Mick drops the position, unfortunately. So whereas he's on the hard, so we got to keep that in mind. A little different strategy. So until his tires warm up, it's kind of where he's going to be, and we're going to let him just kind of do his own thing. But holy jumpins, Magnussen overtakes both Norris and Ocon. Yuki Tsunoda just takes over Norris in the McLaren there as well. So great start by Kev here. Thrilling, very. I almost wish you had the replay system like you do in the Formula 122 game, because I would have loved to see the takeoff, because that takeoff was so snappy. It looked like a man on a mission there. I do like this view because you can kind of see a full advantage point of Ocon here right behind us. Leclerc gets off to a rocking start there. What kind of tires is he on? So he's on the mediums. Okay, so Verstappen was the guinea pig with the hard tires there. So somebody ran wide on the track. Not sure who that may have been, or, you know, if that's going to be any impact. It's Mick Schumacher. It had to have been behind us. There's a crash. So somebody behind us. It looks like it may have been one of the McLarens based on the minimap.
VSC.
Copy.
We're going to ignore it. Let's see what happened here. Crash earlier in Imola. So right in front of Mick. Oh no. Oh, that's so bad. So unfortunately, Ricciardo spins out, and it looked like Lance Stroll had no option, could not control it, and just slams on. So we're gonna put the pace on light and try and save some tire wear here. Actually, we might even put it. There's a virtual safety car, so we're gonna put everything on conserve until the safety car gets going here. Wow. So Emilia, the Imola circuit has now claimed its first 2 victims in Daniel Ricciardo and Lance Stroll. So that turn it's a hard one. If you get your tires on the curb here, anywhere really on the circuit, and just throttle a little bit too much, you're going to spin out. And like I said, unfortunately for Lance Stroll, not much he can do. Thankfully, Mick Schumacher was able to avoid the initial spin out, getting himself in a P16. virtual car is ending soon, so we're going to throw these back on a standard. So Mick's still a little bit ways away, but Kev Mag, let's see where he's at. He's conserved, so we're going to tell both of these guys to push.
The pace a little bit.
Copy.
So this is going to make things a little bit interesting for up and down the leaderboard. We obviously got a nice sizable 8-second gap on the two Williams cars, and then Stroll and Ricardo are leagues back. But Magnussen now, without DRS being active just yet, you can see Mag is doing an okay job hanging out with Zoe, but just wow. So recapping the start of this race for us is Magnussen jumps out to an early 2 position gain, and then manages to hang on to that. Well, a crash happens right in front of Mick Schumacher. Now Mick Schumacher doing an okay job here. Not going to tell either of these guys to worry about their tires too much. I think that 1 lap virtual safety car definitely changes the strategy a little bit from putting too much strain on these tires. But I do have some faith in Kevin to tell him he can push up the pace a little bit. He drove really well last time on aggressive, so we're gonna send his tires out because he has the early pit stop going on to the hards later. So as we look at the tires, so only a couple people with softs, and then obviously the 2 guys at the bottom just got new tires on after that crash. But really, yeah, Meg's doing a good job. They're both actually doing a really good job conserving their tires. So it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out. Mick's on those hards, and he's doing I don't think DRS is open just yet. No, it's not, just because of that accident. Well, we just set the fastest lap with Mick Schumacher. Mick Schumacher just set the fastest lap of the circuit. Let's go, Mickey. So great racing out there. So yeah, just letting him have a go at this, and seeing if we can't get some really solid racing out of him going forward here as you look at the strategy. So didn't conserve too much off that really quick virtual safety car, but Mick is now hot on the heels, 1.5 seconds. He'll be well in that DRS range, if not be able to overtake Vettel coming up on one of these straightaways. So great to see Mick showing some early lap time. Again, it's just taken away from Albon there just because he's on the soft compounds, and with the restart, people above us are hanging. But it's fun to see that Mick is putting the pressure on some of these guys and having a really solid race here. Is now Magnussen is now within, who is that up ahead? So Russell down to Magnussen. This is well within DRS range, so it's going to be exciting to see. Take a breather here as we'll just go back on board of Mick Schumacher here. Very happy with his race. But once the DRS is active, we're going to have both of these guys go for it, because Albon on these soft compounds is able to pick up some distance between him and Schumacher. It was, like I said, 8 seconds, so closing the gap. But we're going to hop on board here, and I believe DRS will open next lap, so still not quite there yet. Again, everything's so delayed now because of that accident. So the boys so far are conserving their fuel very nicely. Oh my gosh, Mick Schumacher right on the heels of Sebastian Vettel, who, kudos to Vettel, is doing a wonderful job. We're going to tell him he can go for it. If we can overtake Sebastian Vettel before DRS, that'll be a huge confidence boost for Mick. Is he going to go for it here on the inside? Doesn't look like he goes for it yet, but coming up here, I got to think that Mick with the go-ahead is going to... We can even tell him to be a little bit aggressive here. Come on, Mick. You got this, man. You got this. And now you can see Magnussen has closed the gap to Guan Yu, so he's also going to be pushing.
DRS enabled.
And Mick goes around the outside. He has a great exit here as he's going to get the next one. He will get the DRS activation zone, and he's going to slingshot. Absolutely slingshot past Vettel for 15 positions. So good on... yeah, great job, Mick. Absolutely great job there, Mickey boy. So yeah, nice little distance here. We're going to keep him on aggressive for just a moment. Tons of fuel on Mick. Tons of fuel for him. So we're going to ease off Magnussen here for a moment. We're going to hop back on. Great job, Mick. We're going to look at him now, and we're going to tell him he can deploy some ERS to try and overtake Guan Yu here and get right behind Alonso for that 9th place. So there is a 4-5 car pile up right here. You can see that's actually Gasly that just passed Russell. So good on the AlphaTauri Frenchman there to pass a struggling, I'll say, Russell, who's now dropped down to position 8. So some fun racing here early. You just love to see all of this. There we go with the DRS flap, I believe. Oops. So no, there is, oh, sorry, there is only one DRS zone in this race, and that goes across it. What an aggressive move by Kevin Magnussen to get himself in a P10. That was absolutely stunning. Absolutely beautiful overtake. We're actually going to rewatch that one because that caught me by surprise. I did not think he was going to go for it. Now Kevin is hot on the heels. So we're gonna rewatch this one because he took that on the inside of that really sharp chicane. Did not think he was going to do that as he goes from inside, keeps the racing line, and just propels himself right over top of Guan Yu there, who's getting held up by, I believe that's Ocon. So wonderful overtake by Kevin Magnussen. So the team is showing, and yeah, we're gonna go back on board here because with the DRS flap open, yeah, Alonso's gonna have it from Russell, but just staying nice and tight with these guys is just gonna be super important. As you can see, Ocon and Guan Yu battling it out. So wow, look at this, we got a race here. So a little bit of gap here for Schumacher. We'll kind of tell him to save some of the stuff because he's going longer here. 50th is a great position to be, but now we got just a log jam, and with the fuel just built up, we can tell Kevin to push it here. Oh my word, this is such an exciting race early. Kevin and Mick, both of them doing a wonderful job early here. So this is just all stuff you love to see as Ocon has closed the gap a little bit. Guan Yu fallen off. So there's going to be some big DRS shifts as we cross the finish line of lap 7. Leclerc still holding on to this position beautifully up in first place by an absolute mile. Perez, Verstappen, who again is on those hard compounds. Carlos Sainz on the hard. So these two getting maybe the longer stint one. A little bit of a change up as you see. Usually you see the other Verstappen not have that, but hey, interesting to see some change up, some shake up into this circuit here. So beautifully done. Magnussen, here we go. This is what we were looking for. We're going to tell him he can go. DRS flapping for all these cars. And right now, the big goal is we just don't want Ocon to gain too much more room on us. So doing a great job here. Did you see? Now it looks like Alonso is pressuring Gasly and Russell, who Russell's now battling it out with Gasly. So this is going to be a stretch of cars where Kevin can really just judge these attacks pretty much as he wants. As we look here, it doesn't look like we're gaining anything on the tires. So that's something that I really have to keep in mind, especially for Mick, is we have him on those hards to start. So he's got to go a lot longer. But Mick doing a great job now within 3 seconds here. Obviously on this turn, he's going to lose it a little bit, but doing a good job just keeping the pace. Vettel's still, 2.2 seconds. So nothing to worry about there. As long as Magnussen can hold off, not hold off, stay within this DRS range. Once we get to that lap, anything can happen. As you can see, Alonso, Russell, Gasly, all battling it out. So it's just very, very interesting plays. As now you see, we've actually closed the gap on a Bottas pretty nicely as well. So gonna be a ton of moving up and down this leaderboard. Yeah, it looks like Russell is trying to gain on Gasly, but the Frenchman just continues to do such a wonderful job. So right here, we're gonna keep push on here. We're gonna tell him to fully overtake and see if he can close the gap even more with that DRS flap open. Oh, it's just no room to be.
So we can start to close the gap.
He is absolutely flying. So maybe we can get him to make a move here. So obviously Imola being a fairly difficult track to overtake on. He is now neck and neck, 1/10 of a second behind these boys. We're going to keep the pressure on. His tires are looking okay. Not a lot of wear and tear on them just yet. I really want to see Kev overtake these guys coming up. A little bit of oversteer there, a snap of oversteer. But Kev's got the moves going now. I think he's going to look to make a pass here on any moment on one of these corners. So we're going to keep everything the way it is. He drives very, very well. He's obviously a super aggressive driver, drives well on this pace. So looking to just build this up, and hopefully he can make a move on any of these guys. If he gets within, if he gets past Alonso, then he just can continue the pressure on Russell with that DRS. So anything can happen in the next couple laps. This is just beautiful to see. So he gets a fairly good exit this time, but I just think with the speed of the Alpine, the Mercedes, everything, it's just a little too much for Kev to handle right now. But I'm hoping that these guys continue to slow each other, because look at this speed. Once you get into that slipstream and the DRS is really kicked in, Kev just flies down, so it's probably going to be like this for a little bit. We're gonna tell him to pull off the tires because we don't want to kill them too soon. You see a little dip on the chart there. Go back to Mick here. Obviously nothing too much going for him just yet. We'll tell him he can pick up the pace slightly as well, but we're gonna speed this up just a bit. Yeah, just nothing going in the middle part of this circuit. Just stuck in between those two Alpines, but something's happening near him. What's going on? So now got Guan Yu caught up to us past Ocon. So Ocon had a little bit of trouble there. Right on the heels of Alonso again. Alonso just the king of defending right now. And look at the gas that he's like just being in these slipstreams. He's so much gas. So much gas to work with. It's actually insane. The fuel is just, it just keeps going up. Look at this number. This is unbelievable to see. Oh, he gets so close every time. But again, like I said, this circuit out here is actually very, very difficult to overtake on. So can't really blame him too much. Not that big of a deal. Oh my gosh, he's going for it. Oh, he got it. He got him. Oh my, Alonso? Guan Yu? Hello? Where's the speed coming from? Oh, that's a lapped Ricardo that we got stuck behind. So remember the incident with Ricardo. Oh, that actually hurt us more than anything. We had to slow down because Ricardo had a blue flag because of the incident. And because of that, we got stuck behind him. Well, Guan Yu and Alonso just had this slipstream to slingshot by us. So a little bit of unfortunate circumstance there for Kevin Magnussen. You actually hate to see that. But good news is for Mick, because of that, he is now barely behind Yuki. So blessing and a curse. You know, obviously Magnussen losing his spot, as you're going to see Kevin. We're not even going to worry about that. The Latifi, that's well behind us. As you see, Mick Schumacher will do a great job taking position 14. So absolutely beautiful overtake here by the German. And I can't believe how unlucky that was for Kevin Magnussen. Just the lapped vehicles. Yeah, great move there by Mick. But again, in a way, it's kind of a blessing and a curse, because bad for Magnussen, great for Mick. He's caught up to all these guys. I hate to see that for Kevin, though. That's something that you never like to see happen when your pace gets a little affected by some lap vehicles, but it is what it is. You keep moving on. Now we're behind Norris. Norris seems to be driving a little bit slow. He is driving a tad slow. We're not going to affect his tires just yet because I don't want to burn them out. I want to get the full use that we can with Mick here. So going to speed this up a little bit again and just hope that Magnussen can close the gap. We'll turn that off. That's my fault. Left the battery on. But now Mag is right on the heels of these guys again. So at any moment, he could get that slipstream. He could get that DRS slingshot and just zoom past some of these guys. You see Guan Yu Zhu look to go on the inside of Pierre Gasly. So this is going to be an exciting one. Is now Mick is now 1.4 seconds away from Lando Norris. So there's just going to be it's going to be a lot of movement here coming up, I think. Okay, so Lando Norris just decided to undercut Pitt quite a bit. How many pits? So yeah, he pit really early. So not quite sure what happened with Lando that caused him to pit there, but all of a sudden Mick Schumacher up in a P13, only a couple spots behind Magnussen. So kind of some unbelievable scenes here for this race.
Try to do some lifting.
This is very entertaining early. Obviously, you know, we got pit windows coming up and everything. Magnussen closing the gap on Guan Yu there. Mick is now ahead of Yuki, trying to do what he can to just stay ahead of him. Again, he's on hards that are realistically really well maintained. He's done a good job. As you now see up ahead, Magnussen is now behind Gasly because Guan Yu was able to slip ahead of the AlphaTauri. So we're hoping that Kevin can do the same thing. We take a look. He's a little bit under his tire, so we might have to undercut him just a bit, but I would love to see Kevin just jump ahead of, in fact, you know what? We're going to send him on attack because I think he's just been stuck behind these guys for a little bit too long. I will really want him to be able to pass these guys, so hopefully he can do that on the upcoming If not here, not going to be here. It's going to be on the DRS zone. But yeah, super proud of Mick. I think this definitely puts the mind at ease just even a little bit. It's something that we were a little bit worried about whether he would perform here. And to jump up to P13 is, you know, it's not a lot of spots, but it's great driving, and he's put himself in the position to at least with the hard tires on, be able to gain some of these positions back. So you never know what could happen. We're going to stay on board here, normal speed, and see if Kevin can push the pedal to the floor and see if he can swing out. He is going to go for the move, and he will get the job done, at least temporarily, on Pierre Gasly into that 10th position, that final points getting position. Great work by Kevin Magnussen. Now we can tell him to just be aggressive on those tires. We don't want to kill them fully. But a great overtake there, an absolutely great overtake by Kevin Magnussen. And now we can just kind of hope that he keeps it going and gains it. Again, he's saved up so much fuel from being stuck in that group of about 4 or 5 cars that the fuel numbers are just not changing on him. He has the pace can just continue to improve. So great to see. Mick's doing a great job holding off Yuki, not gaining really on Esteban, but that's okay. And oh my gosh, we missed it. Kevin just pulled off a great overtake on a Guan Yu Zhu into position 19. So we're going to have to watch this here as we missed it and we were speeding up. I did not think that was possible on this, but he has just got the pace right now. He has the fuel. We're telling him to be aggressive, and he is taking full advantage of it. So an absolutely stellar overtake. This is the spot you got to do it. Again, Imola is so difficult to overtake on, that you got to get it done in those DRS zones. The team's going to love that one. Absolutely brilliant. Yes, beautifully done, Kev. Well done. We're keeping an eye. We are a little bit behind in the tongue twister, the tire wear, but that's okay because we're going to have him pitting, you know, probably in a handful of laps. 3 laps the pit window. If we need to undercut him, we can. We're just going to keep him going. He used up all of his fuel there, but in doing so, he got ahead of the guys he needed to get ahead. So beautifully done, Kev. Beautifully done. You love to see it. Great on you, mate. So again, we'll kind of speed this up and just let them play it out, as now you'll see Magnussen is going to be hot on the heels of Alonso. And Lance Stroll is getting lapped, so that's going to slow us down a little bit. Unfortunately for us, that might give Guan Yu. Nope, Guan Yu gets holed up. So this is actually great for Mick again, because now we're lapping the second guy of Lance Stroll. This could give Mick the position he needs to catch up to some of these guys. So beautiful racing here out in Imola. I hope you guys are enjoying it. It's a long haul, this one. Obviously with 63 laps, lots of excitement up and down the leaderboard. We want to make sure that we're catching it all. So we enter the pit strategy. It's not the optimal time, so we're not going to take it just yet. But if you look, there's a couple laps. We can tell him he can increase that to attack. He's got 51 tire left with only 3 laps to his pit lane. Beautifully done, Kevin. Beautifully done. We're going to have a quick look up at the leaderboard again. So it looks like Leclerc is just absolutely crushing Carlos Sainz. But again, it's Ferrari 1-2. Verstappen is nowhere near to be found. Now, he's not going to pit as early as these guys, so he'll probably gain the lead until he has to pit. But what happened to Sergio Perez? The man on the mediums is so far behind even his... It's unlucky to see, but I mean, this whole season is dominated by Ferrari. Absolutely dominated by Ferrari. And to be honest, I love to see it. I think that's great. I think they're doing a phenomenal job. Hopefully they can keep it up. Rewrite history a little bit, because we all know what's going on in real Formula One. So entertaining stuff here early in the season for this F1 Manager 22 save. And for us now, it's just, you know, Lance Stroll coming up. We're going to pass him. That'll hold up Yuki Tsunoda a bit. If we can get Mick close to Magnussen, so we got some guys pitting. We'll pit Magnussen this coming lap.
Box, Kevin, box.
Copy box.
So we're now going to tell him just to push for the rest of the lap, because we had some guys behind him coming to the pit lane. So for Kevin, great opportunity here. For Mick, obviously jumping into 10th. Now is his opportunity, because he has such amazing tire wear. He has done... That is one thing I'll say about Mick, is he has conserved his tires almost at perfect every single time. So good on Mick there. He's now up in a P10. Magnussen's going to be pitting here shortly. But yeah, it just all in all, very happy with this race so far out here in Imola. It's something that I haven't been able to say all the time. So yeah, just very, very happy with the two drivers so far. And really, I mean, with that accident, anything's possible in Imola. I think that's anywhere for that matter. Usually you dealing with some rain here. But that accident early, you just kind of see it is a okay, not a great pit stop here for the team. But, you know, we'll get out. We're going to be probably just ahead of Gasly. So yeah, we'll be position 12. Not a bad little position. We're going to tell him to just back off on those tires a bit because we're going to want these to go nearly all the way to the end. He's got some gas to work with though, so we'll tell him he can push. And then for Mick, it's now just about, you know, trying to maintain what he's got going for him. He is in position 10 ahead of position 9 ahead of Alonso. Sorry, it's time for Mick to push just a little bit, get away from Lance Stroll. Don't want to fight Lance at all because he's got quite a bit of time left until his pit stop. But his tires are okay; they're looking clean. Now we can kind of just jump forward and see what happens when some more guys come in for their pit stop. So, gonna let this go for a bit here. We'll slow this down as we gotta.
We've just had a car run wide.
So another incident from Guan Yu. So a man that's behind us runs wide and gets 2 tires into that gravel pit. So really not good. And he actually holds up a couple of cars, but I do believe those are the guys that are lipped. So, or lap, sorry. So an unfortunate look for the Alfa Romeo there. Carlos Sainz, as we talked about, was on the hards. Verstappen was on the hards. But Leclerc, who's already pitted, is now hot on the heels of the guys who have not pitted. So, interesting thing here. Yeah, Leclerc's pitted. These guys have not, including Hamilton, who's on behind him. And he is just coasting right behind them, well within striking distance. So he'll easily jump back up. Very, very exciting stuff. This is so much fun. Imola is just delivering on all aspects right now and is very, very fun to see. So Kev is in P11. He'll jump back when, again, we got lots of guys who still haven't pitted ahead of him. So he's going to gain some positions. Hopefully we can make it to the end of the circuit here. I think we can as long as we play it cool with his tires. Yeah, we're actually, with Gasly 2.4 seconds, we're going to tell him to ease up a little bit. Doesn't need to go too fast with the pit coming up. And for Mick, it's just continue to do what he's doing. He's literally making me a very happy manager right now because he's doing exactly what we need. And yeah, Magnussen is pulling away from Gasly with just being on normal mode. So let him gain some fuel up, and then in a couple laps when these guys pit, that's when we'll explode and try and push the pedal to the metal. So I got to think coming up on lap 40 here, you're going to see some guys pitting relatively soon. So has Alonso pitted? Because Alonso's starting to put pressure on us. So Alonso has pitted, so he's on those much fresher tires. That's why. So really, we're not battling him with Mick. Magnussen, we're obviously not battling, although still well in advance of him. So right now, Mick's just got to keep doing what he's doing, not fighting anybody. Like, again, Alonso is free to pass, and we can give up that position. That's no stress off my back. Gasly's starting to gain on Magnussen, but we've managed to hold off some tires. So how close are we getting? So there you go. So we give up the position to Alonso. That's expected. No harm, no foul. He's still conserving his tires. Again, that's something that is so remarkable to me. All this pressure, all this stress of everything that's happened with Mick, and he is still at 51% of his tires. 51%. I mean, yeah, there's other guys out there with better tire wear, but he's been pushing the metal. We've told him for half the race to push it. So he's conserving his tires while pushing, and he's going to get... he's not quite within that DRS zone, but... oh, man, this is just interesting plays. You see Magnussen approaching Lance Stroll here to lap him, so we'll have to pass him, and then you'll see Gasly get tied up behind him. So realistically is now 10 and 11 for the team Haas, but... yeah, it's just... so we got Guan Yu again. Guan Yu on no. So he's struggling out here, and he's got all 4 tires into the gravel pit. So that just about ends it for Guan Yu. I know anything can happen, but really tough to see from the Alfa Romeo team there. Is can't get his footing here. 4 tires into the pits there, and yeah, just... so now we gotta do some thinking, because here Gasly is approaching him. So we're gonna tell him he can go a little bit aggressive here.
So push as much as you can. Copy.
Let's get him We don't want him to get into DRS range. That's my goal here. And Mick, honestly, I'm going to tell him he can conserve his tires even a little bit more.
Need to back off. Copy.
Yeah. Let's try this and see if Kevin can close the gap to Mick a little bit and maybe get a tow for a couple laps. I don't know if that'll be possible, but I just want Gasly to stay out of that DRS range. Basically what I'm asking for here. He is closing the gap on Mick. Mick still has a handful of laps with really good tire wear, and we are slowing him down. I must say, I feel like I am managing this to the best of my ability with the cars we're going on. So Gasly runs wide. That's huge for us. That's huge for us. Oh, beautiful. So now we can really tell Kev to pick up the pace. Yeah, he's gained some on his tires. This is going to be huge. Oh, this is wonderful to see. As you see, Carlos. So Verstappen's still out there on so mediums. Yeah, these guys haven't. So this is Leclerc is just dominating right now. He's setting fastest time. Everything is just going up in his perfect, just beautifully for him. Right now, so yeah, this is my idea. So my idea is if Mick is still going to be out there for a handful of laps, Kevin is closing the gap really nicely. Gasly's not even in the picture at the moment because of that wipeout. If we can get Kevin to slingshot past Mick, then Mick has honestly done his job tenfold, and I'll be super excited for him. So once he gets in a DRS range, I'm gonna tell Mick to not fight his teammate, and then Kevin's gonna back off a little bit because he's kind of getting a nice little tow. Mick's tires are perfect. So get into that DRS, and we're gonna tell Mick to pick it up a little bit. Yeah, just trying to squeeze him into that. So now that we can put him back on normal, get a slingshot here coming into the next DRS zone, and then we tell Kevin not to fight him. I think this is just like the most beautiful play we could probably do around here. Because I'm so proud of how good Mick Schumacher is driving in this race right now. So then now we go to Mick, and we'll slow this down so we can see this happen. There we go. Slingshot. Now we can tell him to pick up the pace because he has it. He's in his pit window. Oh, I think this was actually beautifully done. Mick gets a tow. Or sorry, Kevin gets a tow. Mick is still doing wonderful things with people still haven't pitted. I'm proud of Mick. That's all I'm gonna say is I'm really proud of what Mick has been able to achieve here in this race. I think it's wonderfully done. It's wonderfully done. Absolute masterclass by Mick here. And look at his tire. Like, he has conserved his tires to an absolute T. Good on you, Mick. Good on you, Mick. And actually now I'm going to tell him to hold back Pierre Gasly. Oh, this is setting up to be, I can't get more perfect than this. As you can see, our time is increasing, his time is decreasing, but now it's up to Mick to just hold off Pierre Gasly. Well, Kevin just continues to accelerate, floor it. Oh, Mickey boy. This is beautiful. He's going to get a tow here coming up. Oh, this is just 3 seconds now difference from Magnussen to this is just, I'm so proud of Mick. Mick, you took this one and you ran with it. It's an opportunity that you deserved. I gave you that chance and you're running with it. So kudos to Mick here. Unfortunately that we had to lap another vehicle there, because now that time has reduced to 2.2 rather than 3 like it was. But hey, it worked. It's still nice. Yeah, the Williams car of either Albon or Latifi there is really unlucky that it held us up. So we're hoping that it'll get the same treatment on Pierre Gasly. So you can see some cars coming in. Mick, how you doing, bro? Next lap. So we're going to tell you to pick up the pace and attack, because I think you have the tire wear. Actually, we're going to send you to full attack mode. Yep. Mick. I just want to say, Mickey boy, that was the most beautiful racing that you could have done, dude. Like, honestly, kudos to you, man. You literally have kept Haas in this game. Wonderfully done. So absolutely stellar, beautifully done. Magnussen up into P9. You've done what you needed to do. So unfortunately that car, the Williams car, did not hold up Pierre Gasly like we were hoping it to. We can tell him to just push all the way to the... Try and put some pressure on that AlphaTauri car of Pierre Gasly. Guys, this has been probably my most exciting and proud race so far. So I hope you guys are enjoying it. It's going to be a longer one again because we had a lot of setup, a lot of initial overhead to clear up. But hey, Mick, big time kudos to you. Big time kudos to you, brother. That was a beautifully executed game plan you just had. We're going to put you on the softs. And you got more than enough juice to last you. So we know you can conserve your tires. It's an absolute phenomenal race you have here, sir. Now go just do you. Have a good one. Back out ahead of Norris by 2 seconds as well. So when everything is done, what we just did, Mick Schumacher has gained an extra position and has helped propel Kevin Magnussen into that position with Russell yet still to pit. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. I'm going to keep saying that. He's my hero today. He has literally crushed it. He has absolutely crushed it. So hopefully he can just maintain that position 13, because I think that'd be a huge boost of confidence. He has done the team beautifully. No, Magnussen! You have got to be kidding me. In this second straight race, after Mick Schumacher beautifully executes everything he needs to do, Kevin Magnussen, on an opportunity with Russell in the pits to gain P8, has locked up again. Oh, Kevin. Why, dude?
They've locked up and gone.
We're going to have to see what he did
Let's
here.
see what happened there. Now just focus on the Haas.
Yeah, tire just locked up.
And that could
And
be
unfortunately, the two cars that he was doing so well keeping at bay.
possible. And that was a
Oh my gosh. Okay, well that's just an error by Magnussen here. There's nothing else to describe there except an error by Kevin Magnussen, who is now 3 seconds down, and he's just gonna have to push it. That is so. Oh, all of that work, all of that beautiful work by Mick Schumacher has just gone to waste because of a stupid error by Kevin Magnussen. So yeah, obviously the gearbox showing a bit of wear. We figured it'd be the case going into this race. I mentioned at 39, nothing to worry about. Not in this game anyway. If it does, well... Oh, Kevin, that is the second time that has happened in 2 race weekends back to back. I hate to see that for him. I absolutely hate to see that for him. That sucks so much. Oh, Mick, I feel so bad for you. Like, everything you just did. I'm almost sad for him. Like, actually almost sad for him. That is such a disheartening thing to see, because now there's no way that, yeah, there's 0% chance that any of these guys are coming in. I mean, Ocon, maybe. I don't know when he pitted. Dude, that is, oh man, very, very unlucky for Kevin Magnussen. He's got to be very upset. Our goal of getting points in this one kind of just dwindled. You hate to see it. You hate to see it. Gasly's kind of being held up by Ocon, but Kevin's just losing so much time now. Absolutely just shot himself in the foot with... Now you got all that hard work by Mick is potentially going to waste because you got Norris. What tires is this? So Norris is on mediums. Kind of surprised that Mick isn't showing a little bit more pace here. So we'll tell him he can...
Okay, perfect. Let's get back up to pace.
Copy.
So maybe being held up by that Aston Martin again. Unfortunately that he wasn't able to hold up anybody else, but oh man, the taking the wind out of my sails right there is now you're probably gonna see. So what happened here? Kevin Magnussen just swerved out again? Did he just do it again?
We've just had a crash on the track. Here's the replay.
Norris crashed behind us.
Looking at Lando Norris.
Oh my gosh, Mick has avoided 2 crashes today. So a lockup and he just goes head on. Oh no. Lando Norris with a... Ooh, that did not look like a good one. But what is Magnussen doing on that? Okay, you know what, Mag? You're going to have to just chill. I don't know. Everything's just... Yeah, Kev, you're struggling a little bit today, bud. I hate to see that, but Mick is now in a position 13, or still in position 13 with that big crash by Lando Norris. So Lando Norris lucky to still be in this one as he lost his entire front half of his car, basically. But yeah, that's... well, that's basically your race here in Imola, folks. Unlucky for Kevin. He just keeps the same chicane, just keeps going through it. He can't seem to get the bearing of his vehicle. So a little bit unlucky there. You hate to see it, unfortunately, but I mean, I gotta take some confidence in the fact that Mick has had an absolutely stellar race. He's seemed to kind of turn it around, at least confidence-wise. He's driving beautifully out there, doing everything we executed, and really to finish, if we were to finish right now in position 12 and 13th, obviously as you see Guan Yu pass us, I mean, yeah, it's no surprise with how slow he's driving with the DRS. Oh yeah, he just comes screaming by him. Probably won't even be able to gain that back with how he's driving, but you never know, you never know. But even if we finish in 12 and 13th, so Guan Yu Zhu runs wide, and that's why we've caught up to him.
Let's take another look.
Wow, there's so many incidents happening on the track here, so it could be an exciting finish. But as for Mick, as I was saying, like, having the cars finish 12th, 13th, maybe 11th, 13th is something that I can take some solace in, because this is where we want to be. We want to be mid-pack. As you see, Magnussen will overtake Guan Yu there. So looked like he did it on before the DRS zone. So he actually has DRS open. And we're just going to have a quick peek of that because we missed it. So, oh yeah, held up past the blue flag, and because he moved over, Kevin Magnussen saw that as an opportunity. There's been so many blue flag overtakes in this race today. It's actually unbelievable to see. It's happened so much. It's so funny to see as we're getting a tow now by the Ferrari of, I believe this is Carlos Sainz. It is, no, it looks like it might be Leclerc here towing us along. So first place Leclerc, out by a long shot too. So Ferrari 1 and 2, kind of what we predicted. Not quite sure what the strategy was here for Red Bull, from, you know, hards to softs for Verstappen and then softs to hards for Perez. So very interesting strategy by them. But right now, Ferrari is just absolutely dominating this series. And give kudos to Silver Arrows, 5 and 6. Bottas doing what he can to try and staying with them. The 2 Alpines. So really, like as I was saying, this is kind of what I expected in these races, is to be kind of mid-pack. Guan Yu's obviously going to jump us here in a minute with the DRS, but yeah, I think for me it's just it's a very bittersweet ending because Mick, kudos, Kevin, another mistake. It's just so hard to swallow that pill when he's been racing so well. He's done everything beautifully. We played that literally to perfection. It's a very interesting day here out in Imola, and yeah, tough scenes. We'll take it though for sure. I mean, I think when all is said and done, I'm just trying to stay as confident as I can, but it's tough because I think we had an opportunity to do something great here. I really did. Like, as in great in the sense that Kev could have been 9th or 8th. Mick could have caught his way up to 10th.
Looks like that was a position gained for Alfa
Yeah,
Romeo.
now it's going to be on to Kevin to see if he can hold on and get back to these guys. There's still a lot of laps left. 60 out of 63 for both these guys. The gearbox is dwindling down fast. It hasn't moved since we last checked it, so okay there. Mick is just flying around the circuit. 6 kilos of fuel left on both cars. Should be more than enough. Yeah, Kev looking to overtake Guan Yu. He's not going to do it on this lap, so good news is they've all got laps, so we're going to end this race a little bit earlier. So realistically, having said that, we can probably get Kev to push. It will end when they finish their next couple laps. So all in all, it has been an eventful day. We staved off the rain. There's always a high chance of rain, a probability that this racetrack just gets absolutely soaked, and the risk associated with all that. So obviously last lap here for Charles Leclerc. Absolutely phenomenal race for the man from Monaco. Ferrari team, again, 1-2, and Verstappen's not even close. So whatever strategy that Red Bull tried implementing on their cars today did not work, as you have 10 seconds separating from the Ferraris and then 8 seconds from the other Red Bulls. So I think that accident did cause a little bit of chaos up and down the leaderboard, as you saw people kind of, I mean, we've been lapped twice. We've lapped, like, Ricardo is down bad. Stroll's down bad. We've lapped Williams twice. Like, it's a very, very interesting day out here. So, yeah, all in all, I mean, can't complain too much when you see this on the leaderboard, Haas the way they are, but I'm hoping that Kevin can push himself in, as this is the last lap, so they're going to be ending just ahead of us, and this will be it. So, I mean, Kev's got to push it. There's no point in holding it back now. You've made your mistake early. You might as well just give it everything you got. It looks like he's going to go around the outside, and he should be able to. Doesn't look like this will be the last lap. Is this our last lap? No way. So unlucky for us. The Ferraris finished just ahead of us on their last lap. So tough for us to see. No point in causing any issues here. So 12th, 13th position it's going to be for Team Haas. You know, Kev, I can't be too upset. You gained 3 positions. Mick, you gained...
We need to back off.
A handful of positions. Yeah, it's just a little tough swallowing that one, just because, you know, we know what we are capable of. We know what we had in our fingertips, and it was kind of taken away from us. So, all in all, I'm super excited to have Mick Schumacher finish the way he did. I mean, he followed our... That may have been one of the best managed races I've done yet in this game. And the disappointment of seeing a tire lock up on Kevin Magnussen after all of that, like, 6-lap hard work by Mick it's tough. But hey, we learn. We know that these guys are still getting familiar. It wasn't the best setup for either of these cars, and to be able to perform like that, imagine if we had them both at like 90, 95. You never know what could have happened. So, all in all, I love this circuit. I love this Grand Prix. There you go right there. Kevin bumped up 1, Mick up 3. So realistically, like I said, I mean, Mick had the faster lap. He was the faster man today. He did everything so beautifully. It's a lot of fun to see, but unfortunately for Kevin, Esteban had a great race. He's going to bump up above him in the drivers, and then for constructors, we kind of just stay where we are, but AlphaTauri getting that point, Alpine getting 6 points, so we're in the battle now with AlphaTauri because Williams and Aston Martin, they're always bottom of the grid so far. McLaren has not done, I mean, that is such an unfortunate accident there. Spins out and then the Aston Martin just T-bones him. So I'm happy with that race. We met what we needed to meet. Some experience gained from these guys. And realistically, I mean, you look at the experience breakdown and there it is right there. So they got what they needed. They did everything very, very nice. So I'm proud of the team. Just a bit unlucky. And other than the Q3 performance one, we met all of our goals and got a nice little payout. So great day here for Team Haas. Great race weekend. Like I said, I had high expectations for this race weekend. I was hoping for at least a point. But all in all, you know what? We take what we get. We now have, immediately after that, the front wing come in. So thank God that there was no accidents. We now have that 6th reserve as well. As always, guys, we're going to clean up all this. We have some big things coming up. There's an aerodynamic testing period ending. There's design complete in a week. So we got some fun things coming up ahead of the very ever-popular brand new Miami International Autodrome for the Miami Grand Prix. Looking forward to that one. We'll take care of all the cleanup next time. Make sure you guys, if you're still with me, I greatly appreciate it. Again, these are unedited, longer, almost stream feel-like videos that I'm having a lot of fun making for you guys. If you are enjoying it, make sure you subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and again, please comment anything that you see that I can improve on, because while that felt like my best managed race out there, I know there's things I can improve on. So please let me know. And yeah, come back for some more. We should have another one here coming out in the next few days. Make sure you check out our other playlist for the Formula 122 games and subscribe for lots more Formula 1 content coming out. There's a ton of fun things on the horizon. I enjoy having you guys here every single time. Thank you so much for watching. That is all for me tonight. Goodbye.